Good evening and welcome to another episode of Unstoppable Overcomers. I am your host, Dorothy Odell, and tonight's sponsor of the show is Camaraderie Rescue Mission with our 6-month Freedom Boat Club membership raffle. Get you with a value of over $7,500. Get your tickets today for only $100. You also get the Camaraderie Rescue Mission T-shirt with that as well, and you're supporting veterans in their fight with PTSD. As well, we have Dr. Joseph Dottore, with his book Secrets in Depth. This book is filled with rich and detailed information on this gripping military factual thriller that shows the depths of darkness acquired after 3 decades of service. Get your copy today at Amazon or Barnes & Noble. With that, friends, I would love to bring to the stage Luke. How you doing, Luke?
It's mirrored. I told you the hands. I'm great. It's mirrored. So I tried to get my hand in there, and it went the wrong way. So it's
Actually,
good we're not doing hand. Yeah, see, it's good we're not doing hand puppets.
Well, that's true. Could you imagine? I mean, we already said this was going to be an amazing show. I mean, we've done nothing but laugh backstage, so that's awesome. So Luke is actually a repeat offender here on Unstoppable Overcomers because he's just so unstoppable. And I'm just saying offender in a good way because, one of Oprah's main things was that, you had to come back and tell us. And so I know you switched up a little bit of things in your life. But before we get to that, for those of you that have never met the amazing Luke, tell our viewing audience just who you are and a little bit about yourself.
That's big. Okay. Who am I? Lots of things. I mean, I wear lots of hats.
I know.
I have a kid, so I'm a father. I have a wife, so I'm a husband. I have a business, so I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a coach. I have a guitar, so I'm a musician. I'm lots of different things. I wear all those hats, and I play a lot. Like, I have a lot of fun, and I've stopped taking myself so seriously. And is that enough? Like, what else do you want to know?
Well, okay. So since this is Unstoppable Overcomers, what would be one of the biggest things that you've overcome so far?
Myself.
Friend. Right? If we could all just get over ourselves and overcome ourselves, wouldn't the world be like a better place?
Yeah, I mean, like, I could expand a little bit.
Yeah, please do.
I'm 35 now, and I spent most of my life completely fighting myself, like in everything that I did. So I was miserable, terrified of doing and trying everything and anything. I said I wasn't being facetious. I'm a writer. Like, I write, not only, like, so I'm writing a book and I write tons of social media. I write, but I also write songs. So I write and perform. Like, I have an album, but I didn't start performing until I was 28. And that was like the first big thing that I overcome was my fear of performing. And it stemmed from this crippling perfectionism. So I thought that I had to get on stage and be perfect. And the idea of like getting on stage and being perfect the first time made sure that I never got on stage ever. So yeah, like, I put off living my entire life because I had all of these really unconscious limitations that had rabbled me, I was in a prison. I was in a series of prisons that I didn't know. I just thought, like, hey, what does that person have that I don't have? That, they just seem to be doing life and living life. What am I missing? So fought with, we talked a lot about weight loss and like self-image, the way we show up. I struggled with all that stuff, but the whole time I was just struggling with me.
Right. And I love that. So this gets back to what we were talking in the green room with Kimberly and her guests. And the first thing that attracted me to Luke was a post that he had put on social media. And the post, please forgive me because it's been a while and it's been a heck of a year. So all I remember is that you're essentially, it was you were a fitness coach back then for women, and I think the gist of it was you thought you understood what women go through when an overweight woman goes through, and your wife called you out on it. And you were so real, raw, and authentic in that post that post alone, I know, got you on at least 2 podcasts, mine and somebody else's right off the bat. And I'm sure more after that. But do you remember what that post was about? I was paraphrasing.
Yeah, you paraphrased really well. It was like there was 2 big thoughts in that post. It has been a long time, by the way.
I know.
So Jordan Peterson had pulled out. I can't remember if we can like kind of swear on this. Not supposed to.
No, it was to do.
No, but
You
can I
said you knew
swear?
how a woman felt or something like that, and she goes, how can you no, you were identifying with women, and your wife goes, how can you identify with a woman when you've never been one?
Well, you can't. Yeah. So there was 2 parts. Like, first of all, Jordan Peterson had done this terrible post, which was like part of the systemic, I'm just gonna say bullshit of diet culture, which is,
That's right.
has patriarchal roots. So that was like part of it. But the other thing was like, yeah, my wife totally called me out, and I was under this paradigm that because I'd struggled with my weight, and my body, that I understood kind of like what that struggle meant, not just for myself, but then, and I was working with mostly women. So then to take my experience and say, well, yeah, I understand your experience versus this really deep recognition of, actually, I can't understand your experience because I'm not a woman. So again, like, my wife's this beautiful mirror of, and she's not afraid to hold it up, of like, hey, dude, there's some bullshit here, and then it's up to me, like, to pay attention and be like, am I defensive?
The bullshit meter.
Yeah. Am I getting defensive, which is like me entrenching myself in a belief that I have, or am I seeking to understand another position? So it was really important just to take a step back and be like, okay, why am I getting defensive? What's going on in me? And of course, it's because there's truth in what she's saying. So I just take a step back and just really honor and respect kind of what I was going through, my own limitation. And then the whole thing just spoke to, look, I'm a white male. I'm a privileged guy. And I've only started recognizing what white male privilege means in the last 2 years. Like, that's how ignorant I was. So to start to pay attention to that, pay attention to other people's experiences, what they're saying, and that what they're saying, even though I can't understand, it doesn't mean that it's not valid. It's like, no, that's the person's experience.
Absolutely.
So a little bit of that thing.
Right. I just want to give a shout out to Inger. Thank you for joining us. Another fellow Canadian. She's closer to me than you, but that's still another fellow Canadian. And Kimberly's in the back. I don't know if you can see her, but she's like dancing in her seat saying, I love your wife. She's just like, I love, and your name's her name's Georgia, right?
Everyone loves my wife. She's
Everybody
very lovable. She's
yes.
charming too. Yeah. Yeah. She's great. I'm really lucky.
And that is what I loved about you right from the beginning, Luke, that you were not afraid to call people out, but call yourself out on your bullshit and give kudos to your wife and saying, listen, I screwed up and my wife called me on my bullshit and here it is. So that is how I met Luke, and Luke has been amazing. Luke is one of those friends that he seems to know, like, we can not talk for a long time, but he seems to know when I'm going through something, because all of a sudden I'll get a message in my messenger, hey, it's been a while, are you okay? And it never fails, Luke. 9 times out of 10 when you do that, I'm going through like a shitty moment. And whether you know it or not, you're like, I'm sure it's a divine thing. But right in that moment, it's just like, oh, somebody does care. So thank you for those impromptu messages checking in on me. I have to say,
do you know what's
they
really
are
cool
appreciated.
about that? we never, we never, I've never, when someone checks in on me, I'm never like, oh, thank you so much. Like, this means a great deal to me. Thank you. It'd be like after the fact, like maybe years down the road, it'd be like, hey, you remember that time you checked in on me?
Mhm.
Like, I really appreciate that. So, you put stuff out in the world and sometimes you don't know how it's landing. You're not the first person to say that to me, believe it or not. So it's really cool to hear back.
Right?
Yeah.
And as somebody who appreciates that, like,
Mm,
I think maybe I say it when I'm thinking of it because I appreciate that more than,
mm,
like, some people, you've read, I'm sure you've heard the five love languages book. Some people like gifts, some people like time, money, whatever.
yeah. Physical
um
touch. Yeah.
I like people's time. So
Mm,
that is my love language. And so if I know somebody's thinking about me, like, that's the coolest thing you could possibly ever do.
beautiful. I love it.
Thank you. And so now that we've gotten that, so Kimberly was just like, what post? What do you mean? So we got that out of the way. So I didn't realize, and I noticed on your post lately that you've been talking more about your singing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know that you kind of transitioned from where you were the first time you were on the show to what you're doing now.
Yeah.
So tell us about your singing, because I mean, I hear that's amazing.
You haven't heard? That's amazing.
Well,
You got to go check it out.
I've heard from the grapevine that it's amazing, but I got to
Yeah.
check it out. You're right.
You totally got to check it out. Okay. So I don't know. Maybe this is just a me thing, but I think a lot of us have this thing in the back of their head that they're like, hey, there's like this push from behind that's like, do this thing. And then like my voice in my head will be like, oh no, you don't do that. Don't do that. Who are you to do that? Why would you do that? What's the point? Um, and and it's really easy to listen to that bullshit. So about what did I say? 35. So 7 years ago, I really started to. I grew up singing all the time, all the time. I grew up playing guitar. I grew up just really musical. And somewhere along the line, I remember in high school there was this kid. His name was John, and we had these assemblies literally every day. And every once in a while, John was one of them. There were a few others. Um, they would. We had a small high school, like 400 people. These people would play, and I felt so envious. Like, what do they have that I don't have? Why can't I do this? Because I desperately wanted to. Um, so yeah, 28 started playing like just small because I had to break out of myself. Started doing open mics. Then I've done like all these songwriting workshops, and I write songs and play music. And um, look, it's been great and beautiful, and it really like rose to a look at this is a music analogy. It really rose to a crescendo just as right before COVID hit. Had a big lead up into this CD that I launched, and we had a big party, like played with a band, and it was just like a ton of fun. And then COVID hit, and it was like this great, beautiful thing. And look, I did it more like I did it for me. It's like I'm gonna do this for me because I love it. It feels good. I
Mm-hmm.
feel good. I love to perform. I love to be on stage. I love to write. I love to play alone in my little room here. I just love it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I love to explore ideas, musical ideas, lyrics. Like it's like a discovery, and it's so creative. Um, and look, here I am talking about myself about doing this thing that I love to do. But the point is, like, again, I think that all of us have something. It doesn't have to be singing. It could
Right.
it could be painting. I think a lot of us have a lot of creativity that we stuff down, or we're like, oh, I'm too busy, or kids, or life. Um, but like one of the core tenets that I'm living by is to put oneself first. And I was talking to someone recently. She was a business exec, and she's like, well, she's like, I have bubble baths and like I do yoga. I was like, yeah, like that's sure. That's not really what I mean, but that stuff has a place. I'm talking like do the things for you that light you up, because when you're lit up, you show up like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that should, oh, I almost swore again. That is contagious. And
Yes,
people want to be around that.
absolutely.
So it's like, it's just a thing that I do to put me first. So it was missing from my life. Like I was so serious trying to grow my business, and like I've let so many things go, and it's funny how much it's created all of this beautiful rushing in of beautiful things, including ironically business. So yeah, part of me expressing myself is music. Part of me expressing myself is business. It's talking to you right now. And I'm going to, that's what I'm going to do in my life. That's what my life is. It's the expression of me, unrestrained, un, not unlimited and I can do anything, but just the purest version of me. And that's what I mean by putting you first. That's what my music is.
Mhm.
Whether you like it or not, I don't care. I love it. Like I write great stuff and I think so. And not everybody's going to think that. And that's okay.
Right.
So
And I love that. And
I'm going to draw
if
these while
you're
you're
up
talking.
to it, we're doing a fundraiser for veterans October 7th and 8th and looking for talent. So if you'd like to donate your time, let me know.
I can
Your
bring
time
the
and
talent.
talent.
Oh, the lighting's fantastic now. So I'd love to. Here's a little story. I'm going to Europe on Saturday, and I won't get back till literally the 7th, and I will probably be, I don't know, but I'll probably be jet lagged. So maybe the
Ah,
8th, maybe the 8th.
okay. Well, we're doing 24 hours around the clock, my friend. So pick an hour.
Oh my goodness.
I know, right?
A
Because that's
full
what we're doing.
a full hour. I mean, a full hour to, okay, yeah, I'd love to do that. That'd be awesome.
Well, even if you just want to do half an hour, I'm okay, or 15 minutes. If whatever you want to do,
You got to fill time.
we've got to kill time in a 24-hour period, my friend.
But we
And
don't
there's
kill time.
only and there's
Just fill it
only
up.
there's only so many veteran stories a person can hear.
Oh yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. A little bit of
um,
levity might be nice.
a
You need
little bit.
you need a comedian too.
Well, that too. So if you're a comedian or a musician or
I'm not.
a poet,
Yeah,
and you want to do your poetry, or
yeah.
you're an artist of some kind and you just want to show it off, and
Hmm.
if you have a love for veterans and you really want to help us raise money, we're here for you. You can be there for us either way. um
If I
now that
wasn't coming home from Europe the day of and the day before, I'd be a hard yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, my friend, if all of a sudden you got a burst of energy for 15 minutes, or if you want to send me a video of you doing some work, let me know.
Well, we'll be in touch
Practice
about
it.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect. We'll slide you in. We'll make you famous in our 24-hour raising money fund. Okay, enough about that. So there's something that you nailed in the last thing that you talked about, which was perfectionism. And so it's become very apparent to me in the last 5 years how much of a control freak I am, but also how much of a perfectionist. Like I will go out of my way to make sure something is done right, and then it still backfires and screws up. And when that happens, I get mad because I'm like, why did that happen? I did XYZ through the entire alphabet to make sure that didn't happen, and then it screws up anyways. And so I didn't realize just how much that had showed up in my life until, because I'm doing all this work on myself lately. And so that came up. So when you said perfectionist, it's like ding, ding, ding. So I totally can identify with that. And so what are some of the things that you do to help alleviate some of your perfectionism
Yeah.
or deal with it better?
Yeah. So this is going to go into a little bit of like my coaching philosophy.
Sure.
Um, so whether we're dealing with weight loss or something that we're superficially consciously aware of. So I was talking to somebody today through Messenger, and they're like, I struggle with weight loss. I was like, okay, that's a result. So what are we trying to accomplish with the thing that we're we're trying to put a perfect version out, the perfect version. Like what result are we trying to get? Okay, it doesn't matter. There's a set of actions that we have to do. So okay, now we're at actions. Beneath that is like, okay, there's a level of thinking leading to, now those are probably some of the things that we're consciously aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We got to go deeper and within. So perfectionism it's a symptom. It's a symptom of something deeper. It's the thing that we're consciously aware of. It's like, oh, here's perfectionism. Here it is showing up. So I would do this in stages with somebody, and you can't skip the stages, and you can't do this all at once.
Mm-hmm.
You can't sit down and just, I'm going to figure this out, because that's not how we work as human beings. So the first thing is to get to know your perfectionism, not fight it. Don't fight it. So normally we act through these lenses, whether it's perfectionism or like anxiety or overthinking or like a million different things, anger, irritability, like all things that I've dealt with, being judgmental of self. These are just lenses that we adopt, and we just live through them. We don't even realize that they're even there. Okay. So one of the first steps is like, oh my goodness, there's perfectionism. Okay. So what I like to do with clients is get them to notice and name the presentation, the outward expression of the thing. So perfectionism is a great one. So name it, give it a name, like something unassuming, something that's you can laugh a little bit, because this stuff is controlling our lives and it's not very pleasant. So if we can bring some levity and bring some distance to the characters, these roles that we've adopted, it just helps, because now it's not so serious. It's not like I have to solve this. There's nothing wrong with you. You've just adopted a role that you've forgotten you've adopted, and you're living through, and it's driving your results or lack thereof. Okay, great. That's okay. You're a human being. Everybody's going through some version of this. Almost everybody. So notice and name your perfectionism. So here's Patty the perfectionist. Holy cow. Now get to know her or him or them, whatever.
Right.
How is that showing up for you? Through actions? How do you feel? How do you know when it's showing up? Thoughts. What are the thoughts associated? How does Patty talk? Because now we can identify that as it's appearing in our lives. We get to know it really well. Now we don't have to live through it. Once we identify it, it's like, oh, here's Patty. We distance ourselves from it. It's like, oh my, wait a minute, I'm not Patty. Now we have a choice. Do I want to reinforce the role of Patty, or do I want to practice something else? Now that's all one level. That's the superficial most level. We need to go deeper. Otherwise, that perfectionism will continue to arise. We're trying to be perfect to compensate for something deeper. Okay. So
I like that.
Yeah. So we got to get really curious, really curious about our experience. And this is what I do with people.
Right.
And again, there's a lot of depth to the layers that we kind of look at and start to unpack, but it's like, why do I think that everything needs to be perfect? And we go digging within, we go looking within. Okay, it's like this ball. We have this beautiful blue ball of yarn. Mine's blue. Yours can be whatever color you want. Mine's blue. And we start to, like, first of all, we can see the external layer of the ball, and it kind of hints that there's something within it, like more thread. It's made of something. Okay, now we start to pull on this thread, and we pull on that thread, and what happens? Well, more thread comes out, but we keep pulling because we're curious. We want to see what's there, and then at the end, we're left with the other end of the thread. And in seeing the ball dissolve, the whole thing just falls away.
Right.
So if we're talking about perfectionism, it's like questions to go deeper would be like, why do I need things to be perfect? What do I believe about myself or the world that is giving rise to this perfectionism? It's bubbling up from somewhere. At the deepest layer. We're looking for something like a core concept. And when we're struggling with something, what is perfectionism but an attempt to control? So I need this thing to be a certain way in order to what? The punchline here is something like to be okay. And the implication there is that I'm not okay. So we're looking for a core belief, an identity level statement, a self concept. And when we're dealing with limitation or feelings of anything that feels like a weight, like it's pulling us down, we're looking for something that is a limiter on what we are, which is pure possibility. So a limitation at the deepest level, and it sounds something like this: I'm not okay, or I'm not enough, or I'm not safe. And we can we use our thoughts and our feelings together to see what resonates.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we get to that core level, we can look for, like, I'm not like, look at me right now. I got these cabinets behind me. I got the breeze coming in here. I'm dark. Sorry about the lighting. But look, in this moment, in the absence of my thoughts about anything, I'm okay. I'm
Right.
not okay. So
Right.
when I discovered that for myself, it was like, because not okay, here's the punchline. It's like the way the brain works, it's all based in survival. So it's I'm not okay, and here's the secret punchline. Therefore, I'm going to die. We're feeling the weight of like survival.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It has nothing to do with perfectionism. Like that. That's what we're consciously aware of. We got to look it within, and then resolve that innermost tension. And what happens when a tension resolves? Like if I hit my guitar string behind me, I just hit the string, and I let it ring out. And what happens? If I don't touch it again, it resolves on its own. And what is left? Space. We're looking to resolve that tension within. And what happens when we do? Space.
Space. I love that. See, and you were reading my mail because I did a video today on it's okay not to be okay. Because I have had a series of moments all weekend, and I was just feeling the after effects of that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna let it go, and it's okay not to be okay. And so when you said that, it was just like boom. We all go through our stuff, as my friend Brittany calls it, stuff. And so yeah, it's just I love though that when you said that, because the perfectionism is the symbol of something that shows up that's deeper. So in order to get past that, you need to uncover what's hidden underneath to get past your stuff.
But there's nothing to get past. That's the thing, is when we see the root of it is not as being sort of like false. There's
Right.
nothing to transcend. There's nothing to give up, because we've withdrawn our power from it. It's just a slightly different conversation. And then first of all, like there's a couple levels at play when you're like, well, it's okay not to be okay. It's like, yeah, that's completely validating your experience. And that's the first. We have to completely hold space for ourselves. It's like it's okay to be whatever you are, to be to have perfectionism. So again, there's a difference then between I am a perfectionist and there is perfectionism. There's one degree of separation there.
Mm-hmm.
But once we've given ourselves that space, what if we were just like, hey, why aren't I okay? We were curious, because that's letting us know. That's the hint. We get these hints all the time, 24/7 in life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to raise my blinds just a touch now to see if I can strike a balance of the light not blinding me, but better lighting. Is that?
Not a problem.
I don't know if that's better or worse. It's worse for me.
Well, it's whatever. It was fine the other way. Now you look
Was it?
like you're in pain.
I was so dark. Yeah, I don't want to look like I'm in pain. Sorry, guys.
No, it's all good. We want to make sure you're comfortable. There we go.
Oh, it's so funny. I
It
need a ring light. It's okay. We'll get one in the mail.
It's fine. Yes. Amazon works wonders. They're very inexpensive on Amazon.
I know. Everything is.
Or just go across the border and go to Five Below, and you can get them for $5, and they're awesome.
Five Below.
Yeah, you need to make a border run. So there's this. Yes.
For those in the States, there's this thing where Canadians go to the States to buy your stuff because it's cheaper. And by
Well,
cheaper, I mean less expensive.
yeah. Yes. And well, okay, so I don't know about well, I don't know what border you would have, but here where I'm at, it would be Michigan. So in Michigan though, they have things that we can't buy here.
Yeah.
So that's why I go to shop in the States once in a while.
Oh yeah, and we're so close. We have a border like 7 minutes from our house, maybe 15.
Are you shitting me? Like I'm literally
No,
5 minutes from the Ambassador Bridge,
I can't even remember where you live. Where are you?
Windsor.
Windsor, Ontario. Okay, yeah, I'm Abbotsford, British Columbia. I don't know the name of our crossing. There's one called the Peace Arch that way. That's like if you want to head straight down to Seattle from Vancouver.
Oh.
But no, we have like a place just across the border. You can get ice cream. And here's the other thing, you guys. So we just did this. We were just in the States. And we went to this place, this farm right over the border, 2 minutes over the border. So 17 minutes from my house if there's no line at the border.
Mhm.
And we asked for ice cream. We asked for a medium, and they gave us like a whole liter of ice cream on an ice cream cone. It didn't make any sense to me. And it was dirt cheap. Anyway.
Well, that's
Ice cream.
funny because we just went to the States on Sunday.
Yeah.
We went to Birch Run to go because there's an outlet mall out there, and my stepson's birthday, so he wanted to go spend his money. Only he, after shopping, get this, for an hour and a half, the kid bought nothing.
Wow.
An hour and a half drive, shopped an hour and a half to come
Yeah.
home empty-handed.
Well, nothing tickled his fancy. It's okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
My husband loves the Under Armour store, so he bought some stuff.
Perfect. Perfect.
It was all good. It was all good. I got 2 shirts because my shirt drawer is like looking crappy. But anyways, that's beside the point.
Yeah. Hashtag winning.
I got right. I got to look professional and I got to look good for you guys here on camera on Monday and Wednesday nights.
You guys were joking about my shirt, so there you go. I pulled this one from the back of the closet.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about you, but I have. Okay, so I literally could probably take anything that's in my closet and just get rid of it because half of it I don't wear.
Mhm.
My husband's the clothes whore. My husband's got
Mm,
this much of the closet. I've got this much of the
mm.
closet. It's like roles are reversed in this house.
Yeah, it's okay. Good on him.
And yeah, he wears maybe this much of it.
Yep. Yeah, I did a big closet purge. I got rid of like half my stuff.
I
It
think
felt really good.
I think when the seasons change, we should all do that. And then just give it to your local homeless or Goodwill or whatever
Yeah.
floats your boat.
Yeah, I'm trying to do like one thing in. If I bring something in, I let go of something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got this blue shirt that I wear that has seen better days, and I'm like,
Yeah.
so it's going in the garbage since I
Mhm.
bought 2 new ones to replace it.
Perfect. It's hard to
Anyway.
let those favorites go.
Well, okay. So now that you're talking about favorites, I had this black shirt that with 3/4 length sleeves, and you can't get 3/4 length sleeves anymore that I've seen, and it was nice and comfortable. And actually, it was donated to me by a cousin, and I'm sure that cousin had it for 10 years, and then I wore it for 20 years until the holes were holier than Sunday, and had to get rid of it.
Yeah. It's a good shirt then. Like it served you well.
It served me well, and it didn't cost me a damn thing.
Winning again.
Winning. Hashtag
Perfect.
winning. Oh, we're gonna have to put that. We're gonna have to put that in the show notes. Hashtag winning.
Hashtag winning.
All right, Luke. So what? I know you had said that you kind of transitioned a little bit. So tell our viewers what it is that you do now. I mean, it was full on coaching, but now you say you have it with a twist or something like that.
Vanilla.
Vanilla. I like
Vanilla
chocolate.
twist. Okay, so last time we talked. Okay, look. I was doing watch my fingers. Nutrition coaching. So when you're just kind of out of whack with yourself, I was. So I I never ever want to talk to someone about. I got to be really careful here. Uh, I hate the diet industry. I hate weight loss culture. I was really struggling to posting to social media and like be like, hey, I can help you lose weight. We're gonna do it differently, and yet not join um, uh, the production of what exists out there with diet culture.
Mhm.
Because at the heart of diet culture is this horrific message, which is, hey, look, you're not enough. You need to be different. Look, lose 20 pounds. Okay, sure, but why? Well, because you're not okay as you are. Um, that again. So going back to that, the the post.
Mhm.
Look, women see that their whole lives growing up. The message isn't lose 20 pounds. The message is you're not okay. You're not good enough. You need to be different.
Mhm.
I just hate that. Like it's the exact opposite of what I want to give to people. I'm like, hey, you're great. You're an amazing, beautiful person. Whether you want to lose weight or not, I don't give two shits. But let's get to the other side of that feeling of um you need to be different, which is like I'm not okay as I am. We need to resolve that, and it's the deepest, and then all the food stuff will resolve. Like you don't even have to worry about it. So I just didn't look. I can talk food, I can talk exercise, and everyone and their dog can. Like everyone know what they should be eating.
Mhm.
It's not about the food. And on one hand, yes, it is about what you're eating. But look, the weight is the end result of uh, consistent daily habits. Okay, great. So that's your actions to get the result. Well, who's doing that? Who's doing or not doing those actions? It's always the person. It's
Mhm.
you. So why aren't we able to consistently do the things that we want to do to get the results we're looking for? If we can answer that question, we unlock the door to whatever you want. Whatever you want. Whether
Right.
it's losing 10 pounds, 100 pounds, building a business, having beautiful, fulfilled relationships. So I've always been a mindset coach. I just veiled it in, um, and I just hate this, but weight loss.
Mhm.
I was always doing mindset coaching. And let's just get on the same page here about what I mean by mindset. Because if we have, let's just say 100,000 people or 10 people watch this thing, you're going to get as many different people watching this their idea about what mindset means. It's like, oh, my cognitive process, the way I think. And I'm like, no, that's not what I mean by mindset. So we have to use words. That word ultimately falls short for me. It's you. What are you? You are um, a living expression of your thoughts and emotions. That constitutes you. It's far beyond just your thoughts. Mindset is, how are you showing up on a daily basis? How are you thinking and feeling? And to understand those things, we have to go into the vault of you, the yarn. We have to look at that. We don't
Mhm.
look at behaviors. We got to look at you.
Right.
Why are you feeling anxious? Why are you irritable? Why are you snapping at your wife? Like, I'd love to tell a little story that it's not about food. It's just about like we don't know what we don't know and how it's affecting everything in our lives.
Mhm.
And until we resolve those things, um, we are. I use another analogy. Can we do this or not?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it.
The floor is yours.
This is the analogy.
Okay.
You're a beautiful boat. I'm a beautiful boat. We got billions of people on this planet. They're their own unique boat. All right.
Mhm.
They're destined for their voyage. It's going to be different than ours.
Mhm.
Their destination is unique. The waves that they will ride are unique. Okay. And most people aren't on their voyage, they're stuck at harbor.
Right.
Okay. 92% of people are not reaching their goals. And 14, is it 14? I think it's 14. 14% of people self report as being very happy. Like, that is dire. That is that isn't great. And then we think, well, oh, it's because I'm there's something I need something. I need to be better. I need to gain more experience or learn more. Or so we come back to the analogy and we're looking at our boat and we're like, I got this crew. They're useless. I'm going to fire these guys. I need a better crew. I need more burlier crew. These guys aren't getting me out of the harbor. And then you look at your captain, you're like, that guy's an idiot. This captain's, he can't get us out of it. Like, we're stuck. You fire your captain and you look at your sails and you're like, man, these sails suck. You take your sails down, you go out and you buy these sails, and now they're sheeted in gold. It's embroidered in gold, and they're bigger, and they're a little bit denser. And you're like, this will do it. This is it. This is what I need. Mm-hmm. So we spend thousands upon thousands of dollars. We waste so much time and energy. We waste our whole lives trying to improve the boat that was already perfect for our unique voyage. What all we had to do was look off the back of the boat and say, see, oh my God, there's some anchors back there. When you see the anchors, it becomes very obvious. It's like, what if I just let these go? But we don't see them because we're looking out into the world. We're looking at, oh, my boss doesn't like me very much. Or like, oh, I can't lose weight, whatever. I just need to get the right thing. It's like, no, we got to let go of the things that are holding you back in the first place. Because guess what happens when you let go of the anchors? The wind comes because the wind was already there. But you just do what you were kind of meant to do, which is get to your destination, your unique destination. Yeah. Now, the other thing is the journey's like really beautiful. That's not to say that there's not a storm that comes, but like even that's kind of beautiful. It's like the instrument of the heart plays sorrow, but it also plays joy. Look, if that was a song, you'd be like, "Oh, that's a beautiful song," but because it's our heart, it's like, I don't want that. So then we run away from it, and then we chase joy. But it's like, no, there's room for all of it. We can enjoy all of it. That's the journey. So we're not missing anything. That's the crux of it. We just need to let go of the reasons we're not doing this stuff.
Right. Yeah. Just be. Yeah. Just be. I love that. I love your analogy with the sail. Love it. Love it. Love it. So, Luke, where would you like people to find you to learn more about your mindset coaching?
Yeah. Okay. So now there's two places. Look, I love talking to people. So if you want to chat about whatever's going on for you, probably the easiest way is just reach out to me on Facebook. We can have like I'm a human being. Like we can just have a conversation. I have a Facebook group where we put out like lots of content around some of the things that we've kind of hinted at or talked about. But I have a website too, which has information. But like I always just like talking to a human being. So whatever floats your boat. Hey, there's the boat again.
The boat. You're all about the boat.
Yeah. We're not missing anything.
Perfect. I love that. So in the show notes, I did put your website, which is deeprootsmindsetperformance.com. Yeah. And I thought somewhere there was something else, but maybe not. I'm just putting in the comments here your name on Facebook so they can see you, which is Luke Jonathan Rossmo. So don't forget to go look for Stalk Luke over on Facebook because he loves being stalked.
I actually prefer a conversation.
Well, that too.
Yeah, yes, far more.
Far more. Definitely.
See where conversations lead? Here we are. Round 2.
Round 2.
See? This is us just sailing our boats. See?
Oh my God.
It's easy.
In that amazing shirt that should be on a beach. You should be on like a Hawaiian beach somewhere.
I'm going to be on a Greece beach right away.
I am like, you're the second person. So I have a girlfriend who is actually from Greece, and she, yeah, I need to turn things around quickly because next year, apparently it's in the works to do a friend's retreat to Greece for 2 weeks.
Yeah, let's go. I'm not a woman. I don't fit the bill, but hey, have fun.
I know, right? Like, I am so excited about that, but
Beautiful.
I haven't talked to the husband yet.
just wait till a couple weeks before and be like, yeah, I'm going in a couple weeks.
Oh, like, hey, where do you want to be for 2 weeks? I'm going here.
Yeah, just go.
No, I haven't said yes to the trip yet. Fully. I'm just like, it's on the realm of possibilities right now. Oh, there we go, Kimberly. The possibility for this week could be to make sure that I'm on that Greece trip next year. She's like, here you go, girl, you got it. She's proud of me on that one. I'm getting a high
how
five.
Can you see her? I don't see her.
You can't see her in the green room at the bottom? Or maybe it's just me because I'm the controller. I'm the producer, so I get to see those things.
Okay,
but we're going to bring her up on the screen anyways because it's time for the fundamentals.
So there's way too much. I just got to start right off the bat. And it was hilarious, right? Because I'm like, you guys are overdue. Let me in. Then you can actually hear me and see me.
Babe, it says live only 43:10 up at the top.
Oh, yeah, I got it. It's all good. It's all whole, perfect, and complete as always, right? So first things, I was busting, right? The whole boat thing, Luke. Oh, well, yeah. Because we were just talking about boats and who's on your boat and where are they on the boat. And, as always, the divinity of the show and the fact that we have given the show over to the Holy Spirit, it just lights my boat up. Like in ways you can't even imagine. So thank you for who you are, Luke, and the opening that you are for people to really thrive and have their boats sail.
Thank you. That's very sweet.
Yeah, and listen, a couple of things. First of all, you're going to Greece, so there's ways to have this all work, right? So you're already going, so you could be our scout. Right? You're not a woman, but you could be our scout for the trip. And we're always looking for cabana boys and men.
Yeah, I feel okay. That's a little bit of objectification, but I guess if it means I go back to Greece, I could come.
Yeah, especially if your wife comes too, because heard way too many great things about her.
Well, they would go back in a second, so you don't have to twist her arm.
Yeah, right? So that'd be great. That'd be lovely. So cool, Dorothy. Does that all work for you? I thought so. So I am in wonderful Valparaiso, Indiana, with probably one of the most amazing human beings I've ever met on the planet, Wendy Wilfang. Thank you. We go way back, and I'm gonna let Wendy share what she wants the audience to hear. She's a serial entrepreneur. She's been doing it before anybody knew what the word meant. And I know that she doesn't look that old. I would call her an entrepreneurial prodigy. Truly. So with that, what would you like them to hear about tonight?
Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for having me here. Luke, thank you for everything that you've shared, especially about the perfectionist part. I definitely could relate to that. Yes, I became a real estate agent at 21 years old. And through that, going on 25 years now, 46, I'll do the math for you. And along with that, just became always learning, always growing, working on my mindset, communication skills, and just became really good at helping people make decisions, whichever direction that needed to go in the real estate realm. And then that has kind of naturally transitioned to me adding on spiritual coaching to mainly help people use spiritual practices to find peace of mind around any regrets they have in their past. Just give them some freedom. With more age, I come across more people that really are living in their regrets. Could have, would have, should have. They're beating themselves up more than anybody else is around them about things that happened years ago. And it just, I'm an easy person for people to share information with and share stories with, and with no judgment, with just that they're not the only ones that have gone through things in life. And that's really, I'm really passionate about that. And that kind of ties into also, I was raised mainly by my grandparents, so I'm very comfortable around older people, and which again, that seems to be a time of life when they're really sitting in their regrets. So, and we have them at all ages, and I seem to kind of attract the seniors, and just listening to them sometimes can give them some freedom, let alone giving them some practices. So and then another thing that I wanted to share was years ago I had a client that was in the hospital and she was losing her eyesight, and I took her a teddy bear. I couldn't think what else I could do. Well, what could I do for this woman who's in a hospital losing her eyesight? And I took her a teddy bear, and that made such a difference for her and then her family telling me that. And so that's something that I share with people too. I've coined it Wendy Cares with Bears.
Oh.
And then I share with other people.
I knew Dorothy was going to love that.
There's nothing to do other than when you see an opportunity to share a stuffed animal, and that at any age, men or women, to be given a teddy bear, a stuffed dog, whatever it is for somebody that we're never too old. You're never too old for a teddy bear. So that's just a side thing that just kind of developed, that I share with people and would love. And if anybody takes action on it, let me know. Send me a picture.
And where can they reach you?
My cell phone number is 219-405-3595. And then I am on Facebook as well. Wendy with an I at the end. Nice, NIES, Wiltfang, WILTFANG.
Wow. Love that. Okay, so the first, I have to ask this, Wendy. So when somebody's, say, 89 years old and has dementia,
Okay.
but she's in and out, and you can tell that there's something, like she comes from a great home, but her self-esteem is at 89. She's carried this with her, but you don't really know if you're getting the grandma from before, the grandma from behind, from the future or the past. How do you deal with that?
Well, actually, I completely deal with it because my grandma will be 97 in November. And her short-term memory is not great, and she gets caught in loops. Thank you for asking me that. So basically, we meet her where she is. We don't try to get her to do anything. We work from where she is. She is reverting back to a child many times. If we give her candy, she eats too much candy. You know, we want to reward her, and that's not even the right word. Like, she likes ice cream. There's a lot of things she didn't eat through her life, and now we let her eat what she wants to eat. And she will hide wrappers places. Mm-hmm. We never make her wrong for anything.
Right.
And she does have a few teddy bears around. I've given her teddy bears, and she holds on to the teddy bears and touches the teddy bears. Did I answer your question, or do you want something more specific?
No, you answered. Okay, so I'm going through the same thing.
Okay.
My grandma's 89. She'll be 90 in March, and we get to transition her from the hospital to a nursing home this week. And so she's in and out. Like she knows who she is. She knows who we are, but she's very confused. And so, and there's some conversations when we first put her in the retirement home. Her and I had a one-on-one conversation, and she comes from a great family and she was well loved, but then the choices in men were not the greatest. And I was like, and so I can see that in her, like, and she'll talk about that. And I'm just like, wow, and I was struggling with what to say to her when that had come up, because I don't know if I'm actually talking to the grandma of now or the grandma of before. Yeah. So sometimes, and it's difficult. So I'm like,
well, this is perfect cliffhanger for the show. It's perfect. For anybody who wants to know,
contact Wendy.
Yeah, exactly. Anybody who wants to know the answer to that question, including you, Dorothy, which is also perfect, because as everybody knows, that once you're on our show, you're part of our community, and we're committed to your success. So you can ask Wendy next week, and I invite everybody in the audience to reach out to Wendy, because she's got great answers to that question. And inside of that, you both have 30 seconds to share your fundamentals. Who wants to go first, Luke or Wendy?
Wendy, take it away.
All right. So my 3 fundamentals. So first of all, what I'm really into this week is a book that's called The Gift of Asking. And I've been doing this dance for a while now, and being in my feminine energy for about the last 10 years, because I was not before that. And so asking. So, and regardless, men or women, to have the courage to ask for what you want. And I have a 19-year-old daughter, so I was thinking about what the things that I would want to give to her, or that I want her to have in life to have a great life, and it's to have the courage to ask for what you want. Asking, kindness. So I'm known for kindness, trust, and partnership, being kindness, trust, and partnership, and coming from there. And I think we'll count that as 3.
Yeah.
Being kindness, trust, and partnership, and asking for what you want.
Okay. I love it. I love
Big
it.
or small.
All right. Luke?
I wish I could
bring us, crescendo us home.
I wish I could tell you a story about an ask that I did recently, but cliffhanger.
Another cliffhanger. I love it. I love it.
Listen to your heart and not the words of others. I'm looking down because I actually wrote mine down. Pay attention to your thoughts and feelings at least as much as you're paying attention to the world around you. And put yourself first. And part of that is that you can do the things that you want to do. And I don't mean first in terms of yoga and bubble baths. I mean it in the way that we talked about it earlier. That's it.
Can we do yoga and bubble baths too, though?
Of course you can.
Okay, good. All right. Awesome. Thank you both. You're amazing. Luke, thank you so much. And Dorothy.
For having me again.
Yeah. Dorothy, back to you.
Oh, thank you. I just stalked Wendy on Facebook and asked to become her friend. So, and I got the proper spelling, so I did put it in the comments.
Thank you.
I like stalking people on Facebook. Anyway, in a good way. That sounds creepy.
Always.
No matter how you slice it.
And I met Cabana Boy and Man in a good way, right? You are. Like, I want to make sure, Luke, you're clear.
What would the bad way be? Like I don't know what that
would be. We don't want to assume anything here on Untitled.
No offense ever.
I should actually look up what Cabana Boy actually means.
I was just looking for a way for you to get it in.
Yeah,
You
you
know,
roping,
be
you're
part
roping
of the
me in.
group. Yeah.
I got it. I'll come play some music.
Yeah.
Entertainment.
Perfect.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
Got it.
Perfect. All right. With that, friends, be unstoppable in all that you do. And we'll see you same time, same channel next week. Thanks, Luke. And thanks, Wendy, for being on tonight. We adore both of you and can't wait to follow up with you next week. Bye for now.